so we've been talking about this Embiid discussion pretty much all show, because yesterday we ran a poll. Dr. Ivan Appel, Iron Mountain Men's Health. We appreciate him as always, 4 hours strong in the morning. And we asked you, for the next president of basketball operations, what's the first order of business? And 70% of you said trade Joel Embiid. 22% of you said trade Paul George. 8% of you said run it back. So the majority, and vast majority, wanted to trade Joel Embiid. And today we're asking, all right, well, which of these packages would you trade Joel Embiid for? And people are up in arms because they're going, no, that's a bad trade. That's a bad trade. And I just saw a comment on our YouTube chat going into commercial break from Eddie. Stop insulting the fans with people don't understand. And then he continues to say, like, you two aren't so bad at your jobs. You're the ones doing 4 hours on a trade that will never happen. So I love how it's don't be offensive, and yet you're a D-bag about it. As we said earlier in the show, when I say I want to like educate people on this, it's out of respect because the NBA has the most confusing cap structure out of the four major sports. You have max contract slots. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? Like you can't just be like, "Oh, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it now, but I'll use it tomorrow." Like no, you got to fill up the max contract slot or you lose it. Guys like Bobby Marks, who covered the NBA, who was a former insider, still have a hard time explaining what the second apron is. That's a new thing that's been added to the NBA recently.
And by the way, I'm not ashamed to say to that texter or emailer, I don't understand when Bobby Marks talks. I'm writing stuff down because
you're taking notes
because I don't understand it.
Yes, it is.
It's too much. It's too much for me to understand, and I'm not afraid to admit that I don't understand it.
Now, I will be a jerk back to somebody that says, you don't know basketball. This is a stupid trade. This is worse than having Joel Embiid, when they don't realize the cap implications. And you can't trade Joel Embiid for a young player. You need to make the money work. That's how the NBA trades work when it comes to contracts. It's not like baseball, where let's say the New York Mets hate Juan Soto, and they say, we're going to trade Juan Soto. And the Phillies go, all right, we'll take him on. The Phillies don't have to trade Bryce Harper to make the contract work. They can just take on Juan Soto. And John Middleton just has to shell out more millions, right? Baseball's different. Football's different. You don't have the same strict rules. You have a cap, but it's not like you can only pay X amount of money for 5 players and then everybody else has to be in a certain area of the money. There's no such thing as mid-level exemptions in the NFL and in the NHL. This is just a basketball thing. So when I say you might have to do this deal with Sacramento if you do want to trade Joel Embiid, and then people get upset that it's Domantas Sabonis, they don't realize that it's not the player that you're trading for. It's the contract that you're trading for. So I try to explain that as much as possible.
It's clear that you're not being a D when you say that, because people are still arguing it.
I'll be a D back to people that are arguing it.
Well, I mean, it's like it's not hard to. It's an issue.
It is hard because basketball makes it hard, and that's an NBA problem.
Because it's tough. It's tough.
So our question today, because 70% of you, the majority of you, wanted to trade Embiid yesterday. So we gave you 3 plans. Option 1, you do the trade with Sacramento, where you get Domantas Sabonis back. Forget the name. You get a guy with 2 years left on his contract back. That's what I'm saying. Forget the name. Option B, you get Jimmy Butler, but forget the name Jimmy Butler. You get a 1-year contract in return. Problem is you're going to have to probably add a first-round pick in that.
You are.
So that you can eliminate 2 years of Embiid's contract, who's going to be making $67 million in 3 seasons. Option C, well, I don't like those, so let's just stick with Embiid. And John, it has now climbed up to 38% of our voters would rather stick out the 3-year contract of Joel Embiid than eliminate 1 year of it or eliminate 2 years of it. 38% say keep Embiid. 34% say the Sabonis deal. 27% say the Butler deal.
I'm floored.
You're surprised. I'm not.
I'm absolutely surprised because when you proposed this today and we knew we were going to talk about this, I thought for sure he was off, that this was going to fall flat and it was going to be lopsided.
And that's why I say, for those of you who don't understand.
You underestimated it.
No, I did not. I said this is not going to, there are not going to be people out there that are going to think like this. I was wrong. Completely. See, it's easy to say it. You can say it. I was wrong. You can say it. I was wrong. Like all you process people that refuse to admit it. I was wrong. Wrong.
The reason
purse your lips and go wrong.
The reason why I say people don't understand, and I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way, is because unfortunately,
well, when you say it slow, you're saying it disrespectfully. When you go,
because now I'm annoyed. They're not getting Giannis for Embiid. They're not getting a star player.
What do you mean,
return.
man?
Why would you not?
If this was 3 years ago, the conversation would be completely different. The problem is he's turning 33 years old. He has not played more than 40 regular season games in 3 years, and he's going to be getting paid the fourth highest contract in the entire NBA, and two of the guys in front of him are NBA champions.
There you go.
And he's not.
That's an easy one.
That's why. All right. What do we have on the Davis Honda text line? You can feel the Davis difference by checking them out in Burlington. We'll get some more debate day debates. But I wonder, Austin, have more people chimed in on this Joel Embiid discussion?
Yeah, they have, and they've been throwing him all over the place. This is Keith from Atlanta. He said, you can also trade Embiid to a team that has $57 million under the cap. For example, I know the Bulls have the 4th overall pick, but if you're able to swivel them into a future first-round pick, that could help us offload Embiid.
All right, so I'm going to be, again, respectful here. If you are trading Joel Embiid, you're not winning any deal. So you're not getting a future first. Did he say get a future first round pick for Embiid?
He said get a future.
You're not getting that.
No. You might be giving up.
You have to give
future
one
first round pick because you're trying to get rid of all this money. Now I knew somebody would come with that take today.
Why?
Hey, there are teams that have the money available. If Embiid was 1 year left on this deal, they might do that, and they get a pick out of it. He's got 3 years left. What is if Chicago is trying to rebuild or Memphis is trying to rebuild? Because I know the Grizzlies are another team that people would probably point out. Why would they bring on Joel Embiid for 3 years?
No point.
There is none. Literally no point.
You can see, look, Andrew's really passionate about this.
I am.
He's twitching. He's twitching.
And then somebody might say, well, then why would Sacramento do it? Because they have a bad contract of their own. That's why.
And by the way, Washington just won the lottery. The last thing they want to do is go, all right, well, we just won the lottery. We're going to get the best player in the lottery, and now we're going to take on the crappiest contract in the NBA.
Yeah, no, none of that's...
They're not doing that.
The teams with the most money are not taking on 3 years of a contract. 1 year, maybe.
Yes,
that's literally what the Sixers did during the process. They would take on that final year of the deal and then just unload the money. 3 years is different.
I just did that in 2K last night.
There you go. See?
I sent Joel to the Lakers. I said, have fun.
And that's a part of this, too. And it's so weird you say that because that's one of the things that Eric says. Eric said in our DMs. He says the same thing. A lot of the people who are coming up with these scenarios with Joel Embiid have played too much NBA 2K. They're just playing video game sports. They're not going, well, this is really, you got to find somebody who's really going to do this.
Yeah, because I can go to NBA Trade Machine and I can do Joel Embiid for Kevin Durant. And the Trade Machine will tell me that works. That doesn't mean that the Houston Rockets are saying, yeah, we want Joel Embiid for Kevin Durant. Trade successful. The money works.
Right.
NBA 2K, it might work. But do the Houston Rockets want Joel Embiid for Kevin Durant? No. That's the point of all this. You are going to lose any trade. All right? The win is getting rid of 1 or 2 years off of his contract, which is why I'm not surprised that more people are voting than just keep him because they don't want to hear you lost a trade. They want to hear that you won the trade or you might as well stick it out and you hope that you can win with Joel Embiid. But we've already come to terms that that's not happening. So why not just try to speed up the process, guys?
Oh, just stay away from the word process.
Yeah,
please.
I know. I'm sorry.
Stop it.
All right, what else we got on the text line?
All right, this is from Lou. He says, you have to move Embiid for multiple reasons. Number one, changing the culture. He's the last of the process mentality. Number two, allowing Maxey and VJ to reach their potential. That can't happen as long as Joel is within the locker room. And three, it's just tiresome for the fans. Even though it's not all his fault, he can't stay healthy, and we've been teased by his ability for way too long.
Yeah, I mean, look, we had our caller, Nick, and I love him. I feel bad for him, but I love him. We had our caller, Nick, that said Game 7, beating the Celtics, was the best moment of his basketball fandom life. And, man, you saw how it all came together. And then what happened the very next game?
The best moment of his basketball life was winning a first-round series.
The very next game, Embiid's body was so broken down from that comeback. Because if you remember, going back to the beginning of the season, our man Tony Jones, who we've had on twice this week, Tony knew what the plan was for Embiid. No back-to-backs, nothing new. And would never play 3 games in 5 days.
Yeah.
There's no back-to-backs in the playoffs, but there's 3 games in 5 days. And you saw what happened. He played the 3 games, 5, 6, and 7, played really well, and his body was not recovered enough for game 1. He looks like crap. So does the rest of the team. It's so bad they say, let's not even play him in game 2. They fight hard, but they lose. Now you're down 2-0 in the series. Because of a guy's body that's breaking down again.
And then when he's not available, you're dependent on Tyrese Maxey.
Playing 100 minutes.
And Tyrese Maxey can't be the driving force to a team, the centerpiece.
I am fired up.
He's an accessory. Look at you.
My veins are I just checked out YouTube. I got veins popping out of my neck and my forehead right now. Because I'm getting so frustrated.
Yeah, you're hyperventilating.
Well, it is. It is. It's just... I can't believe this went this way. I just can't believe it. It's like the story that won't end. It's just the story that won't end.
But yet these are the same people that when we're sitting here next year, they're going to be complaining that Joel's not healthy for hopefully another playoff run.
That's yes.
Like, so which one is it?
No, but they'll also be the biggest defenders of it. They'll also be the biggest defenders saying, well, don't blame. They'll be the biggest defenders of don't blame Joel. The reason that I sort of want this to go to is the fact that he was, for the second consecutive year, his teammates had to go to management to have players-only meetings because of his unprofessional behavior. That's part of the reason why I hope this goes down, because I'd really like to have a team full of professionals, guys who actually come to work, understand what it means to be part of the team, understand what it means to show up for meetings, understand what it means to meet their obligations when they're being paid $60 million a year. That guys like Maxey and them don't have to go, hey, we're having a team meeting to talk about this guy that can't do the right things again.
Well, that kind of brings me.
That's what I'm tired of.
That brings me a question I'd like to ask Dicecco, because he's our resident Eagles guy and he's always in the locker room. So, Andrew, when you hear these things that, there's guys that are missing meetings and, not able to get to practice on time, what have you, obviously basketball is always going to be different than, football. But just within a locker room, how can that offset the mood within the locker room from the other guys?
Yeah, well, the Eagles don't have that problem because they have a pristine culture. But what I can tell you, Austin, there's been players years past under Andy Reid, whether it was Deshaun Jackson. I think there was a time where maybe it might have been Correll Buckhalter or something that they had to sit down for a quarter or something for tardiness. It's so important to make sure that you're upholding, the rules that are in place.
Oh, Jalen Carter just last year.
Yeah, you're right, Jalen Carter. But by and large, this Eagles regime haven't had to face some of these challenges that Eagles teams in years past have, or you see it around the NFL as well. But it's very important that you have those guidelines in place. You treat everyone the same, because you can't let certain players kind of dictate what they're doing, because the optics are bad. It leads to, poor morale, and you just can't have that.
Brendan Gunn texted into our group chat.
Hi,
and
Gunn.
B. Gunn says, those Twitter poll results for keeping Embiid tell me that people have just accepted defeat with the Sixers. And they think they're never going to win no matter what. So you might as well keep a franchise legend here, build his legacy to the max as a Hall of Famer, because that's as close to winning as this team will ever get.
Well, and yesterday...
And I can't... I love to tell him he's wrong, but I can't tell him he's wrong.
Yesterday, Andrew, when we had our man Tony Jones on, I basically asked him, hey, what led to the firing? Like, what was, the official, did he go into the meeting with Josh Harris and say, I can still make this work with these guys, with Embiid and George and Maxey and Edgecombe? And Tony was like, well, just so you know, I don't know if it was a guarantee that Embiid would have been back with Morey. And part of my antennas go up going, wait, so does the organization want Embiid back? Did Morey say, I'm going to try to trade Joel Embiid this offseason, and the organization said no? To Brendan Gunn's point.
Right.
Does the organization look at it that way too? Hey, if we're not going to win now after whatever trade they're going to do just to get him off the books, why not try to beef this guy up a little bit more and talk about Sixers legend Joel Embiid?
And sell tickets.
Honestly.
And sell tickets. Hoping that that's the night that he's going to play.
And as our man MBD
what night does he decide he wants to play? What night does he decide he's got a tummy ache or he's not going to show up for work?
Like, well, I can't answer.
Like,
but
what night is that coming?
You got a coin flip chance of seeing him live and in person.
MBD in our YouTube chat says, Chunas, you're thinking in basketball terms. Maybe the ownership group, who are business people, look at it from business terms. Trading for Domantas Sabonis does not scream, come see the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
Having Joel Embiid may get people to come see the Philadelphia 76ers. I hope that's not the case.
See, my counterpoint would be...
This morning, though, these results tell me differently.
See, my counterpoint is I think people forget, like, how good of a player, when healthy, Sabonis is. Like, he's not an actual... like scrub. He's a guy that could actually fit in with VJ and Maxey, right?
No, I like him. But, like, again, you're not winning a championship with Sabonis, but you're not winning a championship with Embiid, and at least one's 2 years versus 3.
No, exactly. As long as Sabonis isn't getting his chest caved in by Draymond Green, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, these results, though, tell me that with a large portion, they're like, no, John, you're the one who's wrong here. You're the one who's out of touch.
By the way,
this is how we believe it.
It is now up to 39.5%. We are reaching close to 40% of our voters saying that they'd rather keep Embiid than try to make a trade to knock off at least 1 or 2 years of his deal.
Well, I think when you look at the reality of the situation, I imagine that there are many who are like, just keep him, I guess.
Well, we're going to lose anyway.
And again, we'll blame Ray Dunn. We will blame Ray Dunn. And he's responsible. And I put John and Sean on the duty today. Take him out.
They tried yesterday.
Take him out.
They tried. Dude, here's the thing.
Take him out. He needs to be stopped.
He's becoming short-sighted thinking.
He's a force. He's supposed to be a good force. Like Ray masquerades as this like Boy Scout.
He's a positive force.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's, you know what? He's like it's not today. He's not. It's divisive today. He's creating problems for America's youth today.
Oh.
Ray Dunn leading kids down the wrong path.
It's so hard for me as a Ray Dunn supporter to hear this kind of Ray Dunn slander. I could tell that it's eating Andrew alive.
If I hear Marks and Brace not take their boy out today, because they tried yesterday, but there's a lot of Ray Dunns out there. The cult is alive.
By the way, again, and our man Eddie got so upset that I said this.
Eddie don't like that.
I'll say it again because somebody said Sabonis gets hurt just as much as Embiid. First off, that's not true. But second of all, forget the name. Look at 3 years of a contract to 2 years of a contract. That's all you got to look at. Forget that he's Lithuanian. He might be from Uruguay. As long as there's 2 years left on the deal, that's less than 3. And you eventually get that off the books.
It's that much closer to the light.
Exactly. All right, coming up next, John Kincaid has the W's and L's games for us.
Yes, we do.
I'm proud of you. That happens next here on The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Sal Chunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Before we do the W's and L's, another comment on the Embiid trade discussion, Johnny. And this one, look, I get it because nobody wants to hear this, especially after we just saw them beat the Celtics. And you're like, man, that was a fun series. Dante on our YouTube chat. Andrew, what else do you do after the trade with the team? Like, where is the point guard? Where is the backup center? Where is the backup 3 talk about that keeping Embiid out your mouth?
What?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused. If you're trading Embiid, or if you're keeping Embiid, you're not winning next year. All right, like that's not happening.
You're not winning either way.
Now, if you keep Embiid, all right, to our caller's Nick earlier today, sure, this offseason, whoever the president of basketball operations is, can hopefully find a legitimate backup center and a legitimate backup point guard. They don't have a real point guard now, but a point guard that can actually come onto the court and facilitate. I get that it looks like they're close. The problem is they have so much money allocated to 3 guys right now that they don't have the financial flexibility to acquire these other guys. If you like Kelly Oubre, then that's the majority of your money's going to Kelly Oubre. If you like Quentin Grimes, which I don't, then your money's going to Quentin Grimes. You have the exact same team, the team that just got swept by the Knicks. So if you trade Joel Embiid, you're just kickstarting a mini rebuild. So you're not going to win next year.
You're not.
Like, you might be a playing team.
But
wait,
you
where
understand?
were you this year?
Yeah.
You were a playing team.
A playing team. You're not going anywhere with Embiid. Plus, I don't understand why people, too, won't acknowledge just the unprofessional garbage of Joel Embiid. Why people are making him out to be like some generational. No, he's been a generational pain in the ass for the players that have had to play with him the last 2 years, that have had to have team meetings about him the last 2 years. Like, this story would not be glossed over by anybody, but it's the members of the cult that don't want to acknowledge it. That Tyrese Maxey has to lead team meetings to complain about, hey, we need everybody to be professional in here. We need everybody doing things the right way. And you got a guy like Tyrese trying to do things the right way, and you got the Joel Embiid's going to do things his own way.
It's been 10 years. 12 years since he got drafted, but 10 years of a very similar story. Failed expectations.
Yep.
Coming up short. Say whatever you want about Joel Embiid. It's been 10 years. Like, if this was
been too long.
If it's been 3 years, fine. It's been 10.
10.
All right, Johnny, what do you got?
All right, I got a game for the two of you. And everybody can play along in their car. And Austin, you can play along too. And this is really easy, so this isn't a very complex game. This is one where I just want you to keep score in your heads, or you guys can keep score on a piece of paper, because I will keep score for you.
Okay.
I want you to look at the W's and L's game of the Eagles' schedule in a totally different way.
Okay.
But there is only one way you're allowed to answer. Okay? You have to be, it is a yes or a no if you're giving the point. Yes or no. There's no middle ground. There's no hemming and hawing. Yes or no. So no, there's just, you got to go black or white. It is Jalen Hurts versus the opposing quarterback. And the question that I ask in every one of the matchups is, do the Eagles have the starting quarterback advantage in the game?
This is going to piss people off.
Okay? So everybody in their car playing along, everybody listening at their desks, the question I'm going to ask you is, do the Eagles have the starting quarterback advantage in the game? You must answer yes or no. There's no, it's 50-50. No. Got to answer yes or no. Jalen Hurts in the 2 matchups with Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I my immediate answer is no.
No.
Because they have lost most of the time to Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Okay? So you got 2 no's. You got 2 no's.
People, and I know immediately people are going to freak out about that.
No,
I mean, it's not it shouldn't be a controversial.
Right. Shouldn't be
statement.
controversial.
It will.
Do the Eagles have the quarterback advantage when they face Jaden Daniels?
I say yes.
I also say yes. So you guys have the same answer that I have right now, which is 2-2. So the matchup is 2-2. When they play Jackson Dart.
For now, yes.
For now, yes. That's exactly my answer.
You said for now.
No, no. For now,
I'm curious to see how with Harbaugh how his.
I'm anxious to see him develop too, though. But I mean, for right now,
I'm scared.
absolutely.
How about this? I'm scared about his development.
I think the Giants
if he learns how to stay healthy and not expose himself to unnecessary hits,
right,
and he develops, I mean, he could be a player, but I don't know if he'll reach the Jalen Hurts level.
Okay,
we don't know, but I mean, I absolutely think the Giants have something cooking. Like, as an organization, I think the Giants have more cooking than Washington has.
Yeah, the Giants have a lot of structure right now.
Right.
And they're heading in the right direction.
All right. Does Jalen Hurts have do you have the quarterback advantage when you play Matthew Stafford?
No.
You answer exactly as I do.
People don't like hearing that.
Do the Eagles have the quarterback advantage when they play Sam Darnold?
Yes.
I agree. All right.
Super Bowl
Look,
champion
I thought
Sam
this
Darnold.
is different. I understand, but it's 5-3. Do the Eagles have the quarterback advantage when they play Brock Purdy?
Yes.
6-3. Do the Eagles have the quarterback advantage when they play Jacoby Brissett?
Yes.
I say 7-3. All right. I'm shocked because we're all 7-3 right now. We are in complete agreement. Bryce Young.
Yes.
8-3. We are in agreement. Okay. Now, Caleb Williams.
Yes. I'm not there yet with Caleb Williams.
I will go no.
I go no.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't help with Ben Johnson being there too.
Yeah. I'm
Right.
gonna go no.
And Caleb Williams does
I
have
said
the better
no.
arm talent.
Yeah.
He
So
makes some ridiculous
So
throws.
Dicecco gives a yes.
Yeah, I'm going to
Andrew
say
goes
yes.
a no. Okay. But it's close. We're all sort of close there. When they play Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not
Very
a big
good.
Lawrence guy.
When they play CJ Stroud.
Yes.
Yes. When they play Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Yes. When they play Cam Ward.
Yep.
Yes. When they play supposedly Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Andrew Dicecco says they have the quarterback advantage, he believes, 14 out of 17 games. And Andrew Salchunas and I say they have the quarterback advantage in 13 out of the games. Where'd you end up?
The only one I flipped where you guys agreed was Brock Purdy. I said no to Brock Purdy and yes to Caleb.
Okay. So there you go. So but we come up, so Andrew and I come up 13. Salchunas, Dicecco comes in 14. It just goes to show you, I think, that may be a far more valuable exercise to me than any of the stupid one-loss games that are played.
But here's the
when the
problem.
schedule comes out.
Here's the problem. Does Jalen Hurts play well against the Houston Texans defense?
It does.
You know, like CJ Stroud,
But-
I hear you.
But I'm going to also say, conversely, the Eagles defense does do these quarterbacks. When you have the quarterback advantage in a game, I would say the team with the quarterback advantage in the game is going to probably win 60% of the time.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of variables that you have to consider. I mean, how's this new look offense? How does it look? How are they taking to it?
I'm
what's
hoping really
what's
good.
what's the defense that
Right.
the defense that they're going against? What kind of challenges do they provide? I mean, it's not as simple as simply having
isn't.
the best talent, the best quarterback on the field, because the Eagles more often than not are going to have that, but that's not the way the game's played. There's other things that are at play. But I did, I see where you're coming
Like
from.
Jalen
See, like, to me, I think that is a more scientific way to look at schedule release, where I think it has more value than going WL, WL, WL. To me, I take more out of that to say it makes me feel extremely confident. And Andrew tomorrow has already got the challenge of the game.
It's kind of easy because John's been sending me strength of schedule stuff, and John is locked in now.
I am totally locked in
on the strength of schedule based off of the Vegas win total.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Vegas win total for the Eagles this year is 11.5. And just looking at how John's talking strength of schedule, because the Eagles have the fifth easiest. I said, all right, so that means you're taking the
against
over.
the Vegas odds. Yes,
I said that means you're taking the over. He said yes. So
I already told him that.
I know that they will have at least 12 wins on John Kincaid's schedule. So what we're doing tomorrow, instead of doing WLWL or me trying to trick him into saying things, I have to find the 5 losses.
So that's his challenge tomorrow. Identify the 5 losses.
If there's 5,
I'm
there could be
gonna tell you
less.
this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to put them in an envelope in the morning, and I'm going to seal it. I think it's going to be much more difficult than you think to find the 5 losses. But I'm going to tell you right now.
Both Cowboys games.
It's just a preview for tomorrow. The 5 losses, it's 5. The Eagles are going 12-5.
So you already have it locked in, 12-5.
I see 5 losses on the schedule. No, I see 5
schedule's
losses.
not even out yet. You're 12-5.
No, I'm going to say is that, I think with this schedule.
Johnny Sunshine over here.
Could they be a 13-win team? Yeah, they could be. But with this travel schedule and everything like that and some of the opponents, but the Eagles are going to so find me 5 losses tomorrow. They will be sealed. And you know what? I'm going to seal them in an envelope before I even come to work. The envelope will be in the hands of someone that you can't touch it.
All right.
And we'll see how many you can get.
That's what we're going to do tomorrow. Coming up
and
next.
See how many the audience can get, too. Maybe the audience
By
can
the way, a
predict.
lot of 14s and 12s on,
could happen.
on the YouTube chat. In the
that should make you feel better about Jalen Hurts.
There is one 2 and 15.
That's terrible. Who's the 2? So they have sweeping the Cowboys?
Dr. Sid the Kid. Who are the 2 that you have Jalen Hurts better than?
I need to know.
Let us know. All right, we'll check the text line. Coming up next, more on this Embiid discussion. And also debate day. We'll round out the show with some of the debates that you've been having with your buddies at the bar, your wife, your friend, whatever. And we'll try to settle them or make it worse. It's Kincaid and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincaid and Salchunas, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right. The poll of the day brought to us by Dr. Avidan Appel and Iron Mountain Men's Health. Johnny, my job has been done for today because I knew that a lot of people thought that you could get a bag of riches for Joel Embiid. And then they realized, oh boy, we might not be able to get a bag of riches. We gave you 3 options to choose from because these are the most likely options because you're not getting Giannis Antetokounmpo for Joel Embiid. You're not getting Kawhi Leonard for Joel Embiid. You're not getting a bunch of young players, rising players for Joel Embiid. The goal to trade Joel Embiid is to move off of his contract and to subtract it by a year or 2. Option A, Embiid for 2 years of Sabonis. 33.4% of the vote. Option B, Embiid and a first for 1 year of Jimmy Butler. Again, it's not the player, it's the contract. That just got 23.5%. 43% now.
43?
We are getting closer and closer to 50% because this has continued to climb up as the show has progressed. 43% said, you know what, screw that, let's just keep him.
I
love it, man. Job done for today, guys.
I'm honestly,
you guys got the rest of the way.
I am beyond scratching my head.
I told you. Sometimes I read the lay of the land.
I can't.
He proved John
honestly,
wrong.
No, but I honestly, I didn't think. Now, Andrew, I did not think he was going to be wrong. I thought he was going to be like wildly wrong. Like I thought this was going to come out like 15%.
43.
I'm absolutely floored.
We are reaching now close to, if it continues to go up, because it was 30, then 33, then 35, then 37, 43. There's a chance, John, that half of the audience would rather keep Embiid than trade him for those 2 options because they thought, well, Embiid's going to get you this, right?
I can't believe it.
Told you, man.
I'm floored.
Told you.
I'm absolutely floored. I don't feel smarter having heard it.
Are you look disappointed.
I am. Because
and now, a 7-2 center. Joel, the process, and Embiid.
Well, I hope we don't have that anymore. Joel, let's hopefully shows up for this year's meetings on time. Embiid.
Dude,
when they do a 30 for 30 or a movie on the whole process, it'll be called Load Management, the story of the decade the decade that was for the Philadelphia 76ers.
It's unbelievable, man.
That's incredible to me.
You ready?
This is truly. This actually now bothers me. I will be bothered for the rest of the day.
All right. Well, I'll make sure to continuously text you every time the percentage continues.
Please don't, because I'm playing golf today.
All right, Austin. It is day 1 of debate day. What have been some of the debates that have been sent in for us to chime in on?
Yeah, so this is from Mike. He says, is Patrick Swayze a poor man's Kurt Russell, or is Kurt Russell a poor man's Patrick Swayze?
I'll leave it up to you guys.
I love this question.
Kurt Russell is a poor man's Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
And I think they both have their advantages. Look, Kurt Russell was great in the movie Breakdown, for example.
Oh, great pull, Andrew. Great pull.
That's a classic from 1997. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go ahead and check that out.
Are we talking on like acting
Patrick
ability?
Swayze in Roadhouse was exceptional. He was great in The Outsiders.
Are we talking acting ability? Like this is like acting ability has to come into this, right? I mean, it's that matters. That acting ability.
I like Patrick Swayze's movies better.
They're better movies.
Although I never saw the big one, which is Dirty Dancing. I never saw that.
Wow, it's impressive that you know the Swayze catalog and you haven't watched the Dirty Dancing.
No,
Andrew.
Yes.
If you need another one, it's called Black Dog. If you need one,
yeah,
Can I
not
tell
the best movie,
but I love Roadhouse so much that just soared him to the top of the list.
I have even more respect for you that you've managed to avoid Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
because I made it through like an hour and 10 minutes on a date. I think before like falling asleep.
That's good work, buddy.
Yes, it's good.
All right, what else we got?
Alrighty, he said, this is from Chat in Hatterboro. He said, NASCAR may not be, but F1 is absolutely a sport, and the drivers are definitely athletes. Go and look how they train, more intense than 95% of the athletes out there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, so
take that, John.
Take that, John. I hung out with the NASCAR people. They're athletes.
I've driven
man.
on those courses. I'm ridden on those courses too.
I like these debate things that you guys have.
All right,
that's
what else
good.
we
That's
got?
nice
I mean,
one.
we need better one. I mean, like, look, this was trial run. This was day one. Hot dog and sandwich. Like, I don't need that. Like no hot dog sandwich debates. But what are you debating with your friends? If you're debating hot dog and sandwich with your friends, I'm sorry. Like, you need to find better friends. Like, what are you guys debating at the bar right now? What else we got?
Alrighty, so for some reason he said this one's just strictly for argumentative purposes, but my golf friends and I have a thing for about 10 years in a running argument that says, what would win in a fight, a golf club or a machete?
Machete.
A machete.
Machete.
A machete can slice a golf club in half.
It's a clean sweep for the machete.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Saying golf club.
Who are the dopes that are saying that?
And the last one we got actually for today, this one could go right to Mr. Football himself, Dicecco. He said, a recent debate I had was Big Ten football versus SEC football. Which conference is the best now? Big Ten has 3 straight championships, and the SEC is likely deeper with coaches, and Big Ten has another deep pool as well in the coaching aspect. Which conference do you think is better?
This is a tough one, and it's a great one, but I'm going to say the SEC. I just think the competition is greater. You see how they translate to the pro level. The Eagles have obviously explored the SEC prospects in the draft to great success, and as have many teams around the NFL. There's a reason for that, so that's my answer.
There you go. I agree.
Correct answer too.
And that's why the Eagles
If you're
pride
talking the whole
themselves on the
conference.
SEC.
Now
The
they
whole
do.
conference. that
Yeah,
is the
finally.
answer.
That was one of the biggest mysteries. Like, how do you not shop in the SEC when you're drafting? How is that not your first option to look at?
I mean, all you have to do is look at draft night. That tells you who's the best conference in college football. Just go to the NFL draft. Look at the first round and the second round, and then you'll just see who's the best. It's the SEC every single year, and there's a reason for that. That's
right.
the best conference.
Before we get out of here, Middays with Marks coming your way next. Johnny Marks, Sean Brace.
And who's that other guy?
Ray Dunn, who he needs help.
He does need help.
The weather doesn't look great for it, as you've been pointing out. But let's say the game does happen between your Fightin' Phils and the Boston Red Sox. Who wins the battle of the lefties, Luzardo or Ranger Suarez?
Ranger.
Red Sox, the dogs today. Luzardo and the Phils minus 112 on the money line.
Wow.
Suarez is the Sox are minus 104. They're still minus money, but the Phils are the slight favorite, Johnny.
Well, I think Ranger would make them look like monkeys.
Ranger is just more consistent.
Terrible.
He's just more consistent. You don't know what version of Jesus Luzardo you're getting.
I'll take him more consistent.
Well, his last outing wasn't good, so that means this outing will be good. It's just who is better. Is it Jesus Luzardo or is it Ranger Suarez? All right, everybody have a
Lots of
great
fun
rest
today.
of your day.
Good job, Andrew.
I'm glad
Thank
I was able to stir the pot for the city of Philadelphia and upset John Kincaid. I will be texting John every hour.
I'll be on the golf course. I will not be answering your texts.
Middays with Marks comes your next. Andrew, you're the man. Thank you as always, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.